Well, that's not your regular girl next door moment, right? That's Dana Barrett, completely possessed by a demonic spirit named Zool. And yes, this is from the original Ghostbusters. Behind this classic movie, there are some really strange and surprising stories. Today we are going to dive into the 10 weird facts about Ghostbusters, 1984. During her 1983 audition for Ghostbusters, Sigourney Weaver famously demonstrated her acting prowess by spontaneously climbing onto director Ivan Reitman's coffee table and barking like a dog. This performance was unscripted. It was an interpretation of how her character, Dana Barrett, would act while possessed by the demonic entity Zool. Instead of simply reading her lines, she threw herself completely into the role. She delivered her performance with such wild intensity that everyone in the room froze in shock. Her fearless improvisation was so powerful, and it inspired a major script change. Yes, it turns Dana from a helpless victim into one of the terrifying demon dogs in the film's climax. Crazy, right?
I try to influence things. Was to make it real.
Action!
When Dan Aykroyd first wrote the script, it was not about a few ghost hunters in New York. His version, called Ghost Smashers, was a big science fiction story in which ghost fighters used magic wands and traveled through time and space. The story was so large and unusual, so it would have cost a lot of money to make. So, director Ivan Reitman and co-writer Harold Ramis helped Aykroyd make it smaller, easier, and funnier. That change created the movie we now know and love as Ghostbusters.
Hello, I'm Peter.
Dan Aykroyd wanted his friend and Saturday Night Live co-star John Belushi to play Peter Venkman. But unfortunately, Belushi passed away in 1982 before the movie could start filming. That is when the role went to Bill Murray. His calm and sarcastic humor changed the whole mood of the movie. His acting became one of the main reasons why Ghostbusters became such a big hit.
Disgusting blob.
Yes, the Green Ghost Slimer was intentionally based on the late John Belushi as a tribute from his friend, Dan Aykroyd. Originally, Aykroyd wrote the role of Peter Venkman for Belushi, but after his death in 1982, he ensured his co-star's spirit remained in the film. Belushi's famously messy antics inspired Slimer's chaotic and gluttonous personality. This was a way to honor Belushi's memory through the ghost's larger-than-life energy. During production, the crew even nicknamed the character the Ghost of John Belushi. According to visual effects artist Steve Johnson, the final design was done in a hurry. He was told to make the ghost look more like Belushi, but the resemblance was slight. The result was a playful, food-loving ghost that became one of the most famous and loved characters in the movie.
It's the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man.
The explosive finale of the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man in Ghostbusters was a true masterpiece of old-school movie magic. Instead of CGI, the team wanted to put efforts into practical effects. And what did they choose? Shaving cream. A detailed miniature of the Temple of Gozer was built, and for the big moment, the effects crew dropped around 75 pounds of shaving cream onto it, creating the unforgettable image of melted marshmallow raining down over Manhattan. The result was so perfectly messy that it became one of the most iconic endings in comedy film history. But pulling it off wasn't easy. The team had to carefully control the amount of foam used. If they used too much, the entire shot would be ruined under a mountain of white fluff. It looked hilarious on screen, but the reality for the cast was far less fun. During close-up scenes, actors were directly covered in a sticky mix of shaving cream and foam, and this caused skin irritation for several of them. William Atherton, who played the smug villain Walter Peck, got the worst of it. he was hit with a big amount of marshmallow. Despite the itching and the chaos, the scene turned out to be movie magic at its finest. If you are enjoying the video so far, stay with us. We still have a bonus fact waiting for you at the end.
So what? I guess they just don't make them like they used to, huh? No!
The famous jail scene in Ghostbusters, where the team gets arrested after Walter Peck releases all their captured ghosts, was filmed in a real abandoned prison. Yes, you heard me right. The place was the old New York Police Department headquarters at 240 Center Street. The NYPD had left the building more than 10 years earlier, and it had been empty ever since. The long, dark hallways, rusty bars, and empty cells made the place feel creepy. This was a perfect location for the movie. When the cast and crew arrived, many of them said the place felt strange, like something was watching them. But the director thought the atmosphere added benefit to the scene. The team decided to film there anyway, believing it would make the movie feel more authentic. Even though there was no proof of real ghosts, the story quickly spread among the crew. Many believed this supernatural explanation because it matched the movie's theme. But whatever this was, it gave the film an extra spooky story behind the scenes. The Ecto-1, the Ghostbusters' famous car, was originally supposed to be black. But the cameraman pointed out that it would be hard to see during night scenes, so they changed it to white. This made it stand out perfectly on screen. Well, which version would you have preferred, the dark one or the bright white? The Ghostbusters phone number really worked. In the movie, the ad shows a phone number to call the Ghostbusters, 555-2368. Well, for a short time, Columbia Pictures made that number real. When people called, they heard a funny recorded message from Bill Murray and Dan Aykroyd. Thousands of calls came in every hour, and this turned it into an unexpected marketing success. The first ghost was too scary. The librarian ghost at the start of the movie originally looked horrifying. When the director saw the puppet, he said it was way too frightening for a comedy film, so they changed it to a softer version. The old puppet was later used in another horror movie, Fright Night. Bonus fact: the famous Ghostbusters song by Ray Parker Jr. became a massive hit. But this did not please everyone. The band Huey Lewis and the News claimed it sounded too similar to their song, I Want a New Drug. They sued for plagiarism, but the case was quietly settled. Well, years later, Huey Lewis mentioned it publicly. Then, Parker sued him back for breaking the agreement. This is how, even after the movie's success, the drama continued off-screen. If you enjoyed this video, you'll love the next one. Subscribe, hit the notification bell, and tell us your favorite fact in the comments.